I can no longer see the future, Idroel thought, which means there must be no future. Blood surged through her body as she whipped the Nightwing into a mind-numbing turn. The fighter slashed through the clean blue skies of Harkaxiok like a bloody dagger. It was unerring and unrelenting, reflecting nothing of its pilot's turmoil. A Monkey craft lumbered into her field of view. Unlike the sleek death dealers of the Eldari, it was embarrassingly clunky and pitifully slow. Normally, Idroel would know its groaning attempts to avoid death a split second before they came, but she could no longer see the future. The enemy fighter rolled to the left like a dying sky whale. Idroel cursed as her shot shredded its tail. It was a clumsy kill without her foresight. Rounds from her victim's wingman spanged off the wraithbone of her Nightwing as she twirled hard away, accelerating up into the blue. Monkey pilots could not survive such a maneuver, which meant she was safe. But still, Idroel cursed again. She should have sensed the attack. I can no longer see the future, she thought, which means I'm going to die in these skies, slain by a half-witted monkey in their ugly little flying boxes. Effortlessly, Idroel slid her Nightwing back towards the burnt brown earth. Below her, a handful of crimson hunters pirouetted like harlequins around the locust horde of desperate monkey fighters. Idroel looked past the chaos with a practiced eye, seeking openings and opportunities even as she rocketed groundward at a ridiculous speed. In truth, the intricate weave of death thrilled her. The joy of combat filled her heart as she laughed inside her flight helmet. For a moment, she almost forgot about her imminent demise. But then she realized that there were no special insights coming to her mind, no moments of clarity revealing the future perfect shot. Idroel's doom was upon her again as she snarled angrily. Seeking comfort in practiced maneuvers, she settled a wallowing monkey craft in her sights. Shuriken cannon spat razor-sharp death, and the enemy fell away in tatters. Then, she felt Exarch Almastrath die, somewhere in the aerial anarchy. Disoriented, struggling to process the sudden psychic feedback of the Exarch's death, unable to see the future, she struggled to react to the warning chimes in her helmet as a vengeful monkey craft settled in behind her. I can no longer see the future. Almastrath looked at Idroel across the bright light of the Skydome Shrine. In the air above them, crimson hunters flitted through cloud banks, practicing for the next war. These were the private quarters of the Exarch, but Almastrath made a point of allowing his charges to visit for guidance. He stared at such a charge now, with the emotionless eyes of his ever-worn flight helmet.
And?
It was only one word, but it caught Idroel off guard. And I am going to die, she stammered. No future, no life. Idroel tried to keep the fear from her voice, but it was pointless. The Exarch was closer to Cain than any Crimson Hunter. He knew fear all too well.
It does not matter.
Almastrath waved his hand dismissively, and Idroel balked. He saw the look on her face and continued.
Idroel Thylan Caith. You are a Crimson Hunter, a weapon of Cain, a hawk of Kurnos. You are the best pilot I have seen in a generation. It was not some psychic inklings that made you that.
Idroel felt a swell of pride, but it did not outweigh her fears. Without it, I am weaker. I am not what I was. Almastrath shook his head.
You are wrong, poor sister. For better or for worse, Cain has touched you. That does not disappear.
Idroel blinked nervously. Exarch, the path of Cain is the path of death. What if that is why I cannot see? What if he is merely guiding me to my doom? Almastrath chuckled darkly.
Then you will die.
The Exarch rose serenely to his feet. Idroel rose too, sensing her audience was nearly over.
I cannot see the future either, sister. But I do not think death is what Cain has planned for you.
Exarch! Idroel made to protest, but once again, Almastrath stopped her short. Solemnly, he laid a hand on her shoulder. It was a rare gesture of physical affection for an Eldari. She felt a strange hunger stir within her. War drums thundered distantly in her head. And then, Almastrath's hand was gone. And so was the noise and the uncomfortable desire.
You are a crimson hunter, Idroel Thailand.
The Exarch's unblinking helmet eyes looked into hers.
And that is enough.
In the momentary wake of Almastrath's death, the Exarch's words came flooding back. She was a crimson hunter. She was a master of the sky. Suddenly, war drums thundered in her head again. The insatiable hunger she had felt in Almastrath's quarters came tearing back into her psyche with a vengeance. She howled with animal ferocity in the cockpit, drowning out the sound of the warning chimes. Drums pounding in her ears, blood thundering through her veins, Idroel hauled on the control stick and sent her Nightwing flipping backwards through the air. Caught off guard, the Monkey aircraft bumbled past beneath her and blasted its guns into empty air. Idroel dropped on the would-be killer like a hawk and ripped its fuselage apart in a single pass. Her fighter shrieked with joy as she lined up another victim. Then another. And another. Mangled wreckage rained downwards in her wake. Idroel was a talented pilot, but she had never felt this purity before. There was only her Nightwing, the sky, the enemy, and the bloody-handed one's irresistible call. The dawning realization of what was happening washed all concerns away. I can no longer see the future, because my future is set, Idroel thought. With a beatific smile on her face and Cain's name on her lips, the newest Exarch of the Crimson Hunters surged towards a crystal-clear horizon.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the final episode of this season of Untold Stories from Warhammer 40,000. That's right, this marks the finale for now, which means no new episodes for a bit as we dive into production on the next season. But don't worry, we'll be back with more tales from the Grimdark soon enough. In the meantime, we're on the hunt for new voice talent to bring these stories to life. So if you think you've got what it takes, apply now at coldopenstories.com/voice. This season, we've been honored to bring you incredible productions like Sub Divo, written by Tristan Parker and performed by Hannah Helwig and Ryan Negron, with direction and production by Colyn DeGraaff. Sub Divo was originally an official selection in our 1,000-word fast fiction contest. A huge thank you to everyone who participated and supported our writing competitions this year. Speaking of which, submissions are now open for our latest contest, so head on over to 40k.coldopenstories.com for more details. If you've enjoyed this season, we'd love to hear from you. Share your favorite story in the comments, or let us know which factions you'd like to see more of. Your feedback keeps us inspired and helps other listeners discover these tales. As we go back into production on 40k, we're excited to note that new Original World full-length audiobooks will be coming your way in the weeks and months ahead. So be sure to subscribe for these notifications for when they drop and for when the next season of Untold Stories from Warhammer 40,000 begins. Thank you for being a part of this journey as we celebrate 5 incredible years of programming with all of you. Until next time, stay tuned, and as always, to be continued.